We just got some insane news about Warner Brothers and the current state of DC superhero games. What to do, Durag Nation? I'm back with super news, telling you everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less, because I respect your time if you subscribe. So smash that like button to share this with more people, or change it to a dislike if the video was trash. So last year, I was cautiously optimistic when I covered WB CEO David Zaslav's comments to investors about how they have faith in the video game division and will be locking in going forward and focusing mainly on new games based on Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, Hogwarts Legacy, and DC, aka more Batman games. And with James Gunn cooking with TV and film, there was reason to believe DC would also soon begin catching up with Marvel, who have been completely destroying them when it comes to games. The execs said they're still committed to turning things around and believe the future is bright for their video games division and will continue to invest. But this massive article from investigative reporter Jason Schreier dropped, revealing what's been going on behind the scenes at Warner Bros, and things are so much worse than we thought. Reportedly, WB lost $300 million on their games division in 2024 due to the failure of all 3 of their new live service games: Rocksteady's Arkham Looter Shooter, which had its final update in January; Multiversus, which went from one of the most popular games in the world to one of the most hated in a week. That game just confirmed it's also shutting down, and WB also took a big financial hit with the failed Harry Potter game Quidditch Champions. Even CEO David Zaslav admitted WB's gaming division has been underperforming compared to its potential, and thanks to this article, we learned a lot of that blame falls on David Haddad, who has been in charge of gaming since 2015. He recently resigned from the company, and sources revealed to Schreier how Haddad basically ran the games division into the ground, wasted hundreds of millions of dollars, and caused key talent to leave WB. Haddad was said to not be a gamer, which made communicating with him about the nuances of the business difficult, and he would often take months to respond to anyone about both small and very important issues with the games division. Schreier also went into detail about what has been going on behind the scenes at WB's main studios. Monolith Productions, famous for their Nemesis system and the Middle-earth games, is currently working on the Wonder Woman game that was revealed back in 2021, and that situation is a disaster. Monolith wanted to make an original story-driven game, but WB execs, led by Haddad, told them no and said to attach it to a popular brand like Game of Thrones or DC. They struggled to make it work, and the execs waited until 2021 to cancel it. This resulted in most of the directors at Monolith quitting and starting a new studio at EA, while everyone left over pivoted to Wonder Woman and slapped together an announcement trailer at the last minute to recruit new hires. Last year though, we got reports the Wonder Woman game was having development problems. Those problems turned out to be losing multiple game directors and rebooting the game's concept, which was originally going to use the Nemesis system to have Diana befriend enemies, but now they pivoted to a more straightforward action-adventure game. Wonder Woman is still facing a variety of issues, and there is concern the game might never even come out. Things at WB Games Montreal have been worse. After Arkham Origins, Haddad demanded that everyone start chasing the live service trend, so the studio added live service elements to their next game, which ended up being Gotham Knights. They scrapped most of it during development, but those who played the game could see the leftover live service parts, mostly in the poorly designed gear system, and Gotham Knights was abandoned after 2 DLCs. WB Games Montreal wanted to try again, reportedly with a Gotham Knights 1.5 version that would fix the previous game's issues, but they were rejected and assigned support studio duty. They later pitched a game based on Constantine, the supernatural hunter famously played by Keanu Reeves. Haddad's team initially approved the idea, but then changed their mind after getting budget and timeline info and wouldn't commit. Eventually, the execs suggested they make a game based on a more popular character instead. So the studio started developing a game based on The Flash, but reportedly that game was canceled sometime after the Ezra Miller Flash movie tanked at the box office. A bunch of the leadership at WB Games Montreal has left the company over the last 2 years, reportedly due to frustration with having to deal with useless WB execs like Haddad. The studio is currently pitching a new project based on Game of Thrones, so they don't even have a DC game in development anymore. The only other WB studio we know making a DC game is Rocksteady, who are currently working on a single-player Batman game. However, that game is years away, meaning assuming Wonder Woman isn't canceled, there may not be another DC game until 2028. By then, we'll have potentially gotten 7 new Marvel games. So now is actually the perfect time to take a break from DC, because there are a ton of incredible new superhero games coming this year and beyond that are not just Marvel either. Click the video on screen to learn more.